Yeah, Adam, did you know her song "Legend of a Cowgirl" very well back in the day?
I didn't really know it very well, but I had heard it, and I didn't really know anything about her until I was working for Mike, our producer, who had worked on that record. So he played it for me. He's like, "Oh, I know that song," but I didn't really know much about her.
And did he arrange a meeting between the two of you, or?
Well, I was working for him, and he had just gotten back in touch with Imani, and so it was sort of a coincidental meeting because I was working for him doing programming, and she was coming through the studio to write on a song with him. So that's how we met, and you know, we didn't start working together right away, but...
What song was it, Imani? Do you recall?
We were working on a song for another artist. Trying to remember what the song might have been about. Oh, was it Hoedown?
I don't remember.
Well, as a musician, as a songwriter, you do a lot of freelance writing for unknown artists who either have a deal or they don't have a deal. The songs aren't always used.
Okay, so you don't know...
I don't think that song was used, and I think that artist was dropped. So,
so when was this meeting between the two of you? Incidentally, was it?
I feel like it was 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
In like, I want to say March, April.
I think it was like
earlier?
end of the summer,
Okay.
early fall. So maybe a little more than a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that sounds right, like September or something.
And what had happened afterwards? Did you start working, or was it something that first meeting and then half a year or a year you didn't see each other again and then?
Well, we didn't meet it wasn't like, oh, everyone's gonna meet because we all want to work on a record together. I mean, it was just sort of another meeting. You know, she came in to work at the studio and I was working at the studio, but there was no premeditated idea to work on a record. I think after Mike and Imani kind of got back in touch, the idea of working on another record just kind of kicked around.
Yeah, it just made sense for us to be working on something solely for our project instead of artists who were getting dropped or, you know, there wasn't a designation for their career, so to speak. And we've had like a good... I guess we had a good connection in the past musically. We did the Chupacabra album and it worked out pretty well, and we were just applying some of those tactics that we used.
Can you name me one tactic that you say, well, that worked
well? After working with someone for a certain amount of time and sort of watching each other grow, you know, like when I met him, he didn't win any Grammys, you know. I was an unknown artist. I was in college, and you know, he used to pick me up from Penn Station, take me to Jersey, and we used to eat pineapple pizza, and I'd lay on the couch, and he'd work on a track. When it was time for me to do something, I'd be like, "Oh, what do you think of these lyrics? I love them." And it was just a very easy sort of, but growing with somebody, and then he won these Grammys, and he got a little more established in the business, and I, you know, had I was just schooled. We kind of give each other the respect and the space that we need. We know how we work individually. I know what he wants from me. I know how his musical mind works and his pop sensibility is, so I tend to sort of cater to, instead of having to do something over and over and trying to do it solely my way, I just know exactly what he's going to want. So, and it's not a bad formula.
That's for you. You also like to work that way?
Well, I like to kind of work on my own, you know. I mean, I think the format that we applied to make this record was sort of, you know, like everyone's got their own roles that they perform in the creative process. You know, she kind of liked to work on her own at home, writing lyrics. I'm kind of like that in the studio, working on tracks alone. So we actually didn't really work together so much on this record, at least in the same room. But, yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that.
No, but how often does a track then I don't know, do you do it via email or?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I'll email tracks to her, and you know, either she'll like them and decide to write to them, or immediately they'll be rejected. So, but it works back and forth. Email some tracks out to her. She'll sit and cut her own vocals at home, and then email all the vocals.
Upload the vocals, which was quite a pain in the ass, to be honest. Having to edit, you know, pick out a good performance, piece together a great performance, and upload, consolidate the tracks, and then it takes a while to compress all the files and send them to a site. And sometimes Mike would get lazy and forget to download them, so the link would expire and I would have to do it all over again. Right. It was so annoying.